Hey guys, what's going on? Set5 here, and today I'm bringing you guys an NBA on NBC Showtime video. This time I'm using the Lakers here, and because they don't have Kobe, unfortunately, I don't know why. He does show up on the roster list. It's like they showed a few players on the roster list, but you can play with them, but there's always one or two players that are like, top players that you can't use. So, with the Lakers, they show Kobe, but I can't use Kobe. And the Rockets, they show Hakeem, I can't use Hakeem. So it's weird. I don't understand what it is. Do I have to beat the team in order to use that player? I don't know. Anyways, today I decided to do something a little different to start with my video, and that is ask a question, and that's relating to my video because a lot of people do that. But they'll ask it near towards the end of the video. They'll, they'll explain what they're talking about, and then they'll ask a question at the end, like, what do you think about this? And I decided, you know what, I'll ask my question at the beginning of the video to explain what I'm going to be talking about, and then gonna talk about it, and you guys can, either listen to the full thing and comment, or you can say whatever you want first and then listen to me and, do that. And it's because I want a little more interaction in the comments because I don't see too much of that. A lot of it is just, I see support on Twitter, and I do still see support on YouTube, which is really nice, and I appreciate that, but I thought this would be a better way to get you guys more involved with my channel, and that's what I really want, is just to be more involved. And that's why I like streaming as well. There's a lot of involvement in that, and so trying to work on that with YouTube as well, and so I thought this would be a good idea. So, the question I wanted to ask is, do you think EA has good ideas for their sports games? And the reason that I asked that question is because I was watching Shake and Bake's video earlier, and his video was on 2K15 potentially, thinking about, because this was his kind of like, thesis or hypothesis, his idea of, do you think 2K could have an auction, like a transfer market like FIFA does and Madden does, and I believe NBA Live does. I'm assuming if Madden does and FIFA does, I would assume that NBA Live does as well. I'm not too sure, haven't played it enough to know because I've only played the demo, but yeah. Anyways, like I said, I asked that question because I was watching Shake's video, I saw that, and I was like, yeah, I wonder if they'll ever do that, but I kind of wanted to put my own thoughts on that, and see what you guys thought as well. And so, my thinking on that is, I feel like that they're not going to have something like that. And, by the way, to answer the question with EA having good ideas, it's because, I feel like NBA2K, they're still, like, even now, they're kind of in a bit of a, situation. Though I feel like, I think I've mentioned this before, the only reason that they grew, I feel like, is because NBA Live started going down the toilet. Because even then, like, people started playing 2K before, and I get that, but I knew hundreds of people, thousands, after looking online and things like that, people loved Live. But then as soon as 2K, like, it was around 2K8 or 2K9, I saw a lot of people just not getting that much interested in Live anymore. And, I think it was around that time, and so it's been, like, what, 4 or 5 years. But, people still play 2K before that, and I understand, people play 2K games in general, MLB, NHL, NBA still, but, I really wasn't into the 2K franchise too much when it came to sports. I was getting NBA Live, EA, sports games, with Madden, and, just all that. And soccer, obviously, because the only other soccer game they have is Pro Evolution Sport, which, that blows, but they still release it. That was weird. But anyways, I think that EA or 2K really can learn from EA with a lot of their things, because the reason I asked, do you think if they have good ideas, is because I think that they have a lot of ideas that 2K could really learn from, like I said, their transfer market, their ability to have multiple servers for different modes. Now, with a lot of these, obviously, it just depends on how much, do they want to be that greedy and take money from people and try and save as much money as possible, or do they want to give the players a good experience? And I think FIFA and Madden can always pull that off. Like I said, the transfer market is a big one, because a lot of people, for example, I'll give an example with me. I started playing Ultimate Team before my friends did, and I got a lot of packs before then, and I had a lot of good players. A lot of them I didn't use. I built my team that I really liked, have a few players that I don't use but still want to keep, but then I have a lot of other players that I'm like, I don't want to use these guys anymore, but they're like 80s and high 70s, so I asked my friends when they were about to start Ultimate Team, I'm like, hey, if you need to, I can hook you up with a lot of players, and that's what I did. Now, if this was 2K, I couldn't do that because with 2K, I'm just using 2K14 as an example. With their My Team, if I get a duplicate, and also with duplicates in FIFA, all I have to do is be like, hey, I don't want to sell this guy. You can choose, if you get a duplicate, it's like, do you want to switch the guy? So, like a lot of people, let's say if you get a Michael Jordan 95-96 with, if you have one with 0 contracts and then you get a new one, he always comes with 3 contracts. So it's like, do you want to swap them? And you can get like 3 free contracts essentially out of it. And, you can either do that in FIFA as well, or you can quick sell him for like 600 coins, or you could put him on the transfer market and get maybe 1,000 to 2,000 coins, or you could just transfer the guy, put him on the transfer list, and then just tell your friend like, hey, trade me some crappy players and you can get this guy. Or what I did was, I told my friend to put up a crappy player or a stadium or just some random card that he had, and then tell me what it was, put it for a ridiculous price so I can find it easier, and then I traded him. I could trade him up to 4 items, and so I traded him 4 players. And, that's what I did. And I think with 2K, if they don't want to do that because, this kind of gets into my thing about them being a little bit greedy, and they're going to want more money out of it because they're like, well, if I'm getting, like, 100 Michael Jordans, and I think it would be a little difficult to try and do with the NBA not having too many players, unless they put in international, like a lot more international teams, so we'll see how that goes. But, with that idea being said, like, it's like saying if I got a bunch of Michael Jordans, a lot of people, rather than buying VC to buy these packs to try and get Michael Jordan, they're just gonna buy them off their friend. Or if their friend has Michael Jordan, like a lot of Michael Jordans, they're gonna be like, oh, I'd rather just trade for my friend. I don't have to pay any money at all. Like, my friends have spent except one of them they did, but my other friend, he spent no money at all on FIFA, but he has a solid team because I traded him players, and from him playing, he got all the coins and things like that, like My Team points essentially, and he used those to buy packs. And obviously there is a little bit of things with buying coins which isn't allowed because FIFA has their own thing, so instead of VC they're called FIFA points, but then there's FIFA coins which are My Team points, trying to make that transition with you guys. But they have that, and the coins you can actually buy from other people. Like, that's the only reason points are there, are so for you to buy packs. The coins, however, are used for to buy everything else in FIFA Ultimate Team. And that's the thing. I think that NBA, a lot of these modes, they could really learn from, how to manage this and make help out their community by, not just taking money from them. I think after learning how successful My Team was in 2K13, they took way full advantage of it, like, off the bat. Instead of slowly going there, they immediately were like, all right, let's just make the $20 for 80,000 VC rather than $20 for, like, I think 100,000 or 180,000, whatever it was, something ridiculous. Like, you got a lot for in 2K13 for $20. Now you get barely anything. And so I think that they just found out, like, how successful it was, and like, look how much money we can make. Again, and then I'll get into the servers now. FIFA 14, they have different game modes. They have, like, a pro career mode and a manager career mode, which is like, your my career and your like association or my GM, whatever you want to call it, manager mode. And then you've got Ultimate Team, and then you've got pro clubs, which is like crew. And with pro clubs and your my career, or your offline pro player, those are actually 2 separate things. Like, you actually make a brand new guy in pro club. So I don't want to get too much into that trying to explain it, but the thing is, they actually have separate servers for all 3 of those modes. They all have separate servers for, well, I mean, the offline stuff, that kind of is, like, under one roof, but Ultimate Team is separately, Pro Club is separately. So let's say Ultimate Team is having maintenance or something, they have issues with it, and, like, the servers are having issues, they will shut Ultimate Team servers down, but you could still play Pro Clubs, you could still play your offline Pro, and things like that. And that's the one thing I like about that. They have different servers. Rather than 2K, you see they have one whole server, and also everything is connected to online. So once one thing goes down, everything goes down. And what are you going to play? You could play Exhibition, but otherwise you'll have to make an offline My Career, an offline My GM. Everything has to be offline with 2K. Everything's connected to online because everything is connected to VC because they all want you to spend money. Now, that's just my thought on this. I did go a little bit of a rant here, so I do apologize for that. But, it's just my thoughts on that. What 2K really can learn from EA, I really think. So that's why I'm hoping, honestly, 2K can learn, like I said, learn from EA, look at what they're doing, try and make maybe some, you use their games as examples and be like, you know, they have good ideas here, try and make it a little bit of our ideas, but as you know, in a better way. You know, they took my team, or they saw Ultimate Team and made a my team out of it because they saw how much money they could make out of it and saw how popular it was. They're like, we gotta, you know, hop on board with this. So that's why I'm saying, you know, they have to look at EA and say, you know, they're having these good ideas. Let's try and take some of them, maybe modify them a little bit so it doesn't look like we're exactly copying them, and then, you know, try and do something with that and try and, you know, go more towards pleasing the customers, because it's always the customer's always right, but go more towards pleasing the customers rather than trying to, you know, do this like, oh, at least we're making, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars off this, rather than we, you know, our community's supporting us. And sure, there may be some people supporting, but that's just because they're trying to look for the perks and the benefits of 2K with their, you know, team up and all this stuff. So, you know, that's just me. You know, I did go a little bit of a rant here, so I do apologize if you guys don't like that stuff, but hey, it's just, you know, my thoughts on that. And yeah, so like I said, comment down below to that question and I'll read them and reply to them. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, and if you're new to this channel, subscribe. And also follow me on Twitter for up-to-date information on what's going on with my channel and things like that. And also, there's going to be a link on the screen right now for my previous video. You guys can go check that out. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Anyways, let's see what we get in this one. We get 20,000 VC. Damn!